This is a journey like no other. A flight across the air on the wings of birds. It's a fantastic voyage, following the changing seasons and taking in some of the greatest events on Earth. Experience a year in the life of our planet. From the lush tropics to the frozen north. And catch a glimpse of our world as never before. From a bird's eye view. This is Earth Flight. It's spring in the far south of North America. Families of snow geese are soon to begin an epic journey across a continent. They will stay together on a journey that will take them 3,000 kilometers all the way to the Arctic tundra. But they won't be traveling alone. They soon join with other families united by a common goal. The flock grows in strength until snow geese fill the sky. Then hundreds become thousands. Within a few days, their ranks are over 1 million strong. They gather at these traditional staging posts to wait for the perfect weather and favourable winds that will help power their migration. They become a vast army, ready to take over a continent. Even among the mayhem, the families stick together. But where flocks gather, so do predators. The bald eagle, America's national bird. A creature of cunning and power. And the flock's greatest enemy. There is safety in numbers, many eyes to watch for danger. They react as one, the message rippling through the flock. Even among the fleeing masses, relatives stay just a wing beat apart. The eagle appears spoilt for choice. it's not that easy. Their sheer numbers confuse the predator. They form a blizzard of geese, impossible to target or see through. She must try her luck elsewhere. Stealing a meal is one possibility. But even a youngster will defend his rights. For rookie eagles, these gatherings of waterfowl are a chance to practice their skills. But the duck's short wings make them more maneuverable, outwitting the young predators time and again. Time for the adult to show just how it's done. True skill comes from years of practice. What goes down must come up. Easy when you know how. Taking tips from the adults, the youngsters will gain plenty of practice as they follow the migration northwards. With a fair wind blowing, the snow geese take their cue to leave. They become part of a spring migration across the continent, one that features millions of other birds. In spring, common cranes become part of an aerial invasion entering Europe from Africa. They fly as a family, the parents guiding their offspring on their 5,000-kilometre journey. Having crossed the Mediterranean, they'll spend the next 3 weeks travelling to their breeding grounds on a continent now blossoming with life. They follow traditional routes, a flight path that for many includes France's largest river delta, the Camargue. Below are the famous white horses, an ancient breed that has roamed the sea marshes for centuries. As well as horses, the marshes provide shelter for a wealth of bird life, 400 varieties in all. As the cranes head onwards to northern Europe, below, other travellers from Africa have arrived in the Camargue to stay. They are greater flamingos. Around 20,000 breeding pairs make these salty marshes their summer home. For countless other travellers, their spring migration has barely begun. Over the Baja Peninsula at the southern tip of North America, another spring gathering is assembling. Brown pelicans are attracted by the vast anchovy shoals that migrate to these rich waters at this time of year. These brown juveniles are still learning the ways of the ocean. They rely on their more colourful elders to show them the way. Youngsters watch their every move, benefiting from their greater experience and wisdom. Understand the habits of every sea creature that might lead them to a meal. Humpback whales have travelled 4,000 kilometres from the Arctic to breed here. The young birds won't have seen them before. The whales announce their arrival by breaching. A 45-ton belly flop is hard for rivals to ignore. By following whales, pelicans are often guided to a meal. But today, these ocean giants have other things on their mind. The pelicans must find alternative guides. They can appear without warning. Devil rays. A creature that seems to envy the birds. Why they fly is a mystery. Some think it's to shed parasites. More likely, the splashes corral fish and plankton, making them easier to catch. It's tempting to think they do it because they can. boys are fishing, there's food for pelicans too. On a good day, their pouches can trap over 10 litres of fish and water in one go. The pouch gapes, sucking in the prey, while the upper bill closes the trap. But the pelicans must surface to swallow their catch, and this is where the fighting begins. It's food that drives birds' journeys, even those migrating to breed. Back in Europe, the crane family reaches the Loire Valley in France. To keep on course, birds use a magnetic sense that tells them where they are at any one time. They also use the sun as a compass point, even allowing for its changing position as it arcs across the sky. But despite a state-of-the-art navigation system, they prefer to trust their eyes. Landmarks such as Château de Chenonceau are used as a guide from year to year. For young birds on their first migration, it's once seen, never forgotten. One day, they'll use such sites to guide their own families. The valley is such a popular route, 50,000 cranes may pass through in a single day. Below, the trout in the river are full of the joys of spring. But not for long. A migrating osprey had spied his meal from above. But there's always one that gets away. He plunges at 80 kilometers per hour. With plumage drenched, he must shed water before he can fly. Especially with a 1 kilo trout in his talons. It's this springtime abundance of prey that makes the osprey's 10,000 kilometre journey from Africa worth all the effort. Back in the USA, The snow geese have travelled non-stop for over 1,500 kilometres. Exhaustion is already taking its toll. Ahead lies their greatest challenge. Monument Valley in Arizona. For a tired family, this unforgiving desert is a dangerous place to be. The valley is all that is left of an ancient seabed, but there's no water here now. The pinnacles were formed through the action of wind. Some now rise 300 metres above the valley floor. For the migrating birds, this awe-inspiring landscape provides no comfort at all. But despite the young birds' fatigue, the parents must keep to a tight schedule to reach their nesting grounds with enough time to breed. They drive their flagging family on. They have no plans to break the journey. Help comes in an unexpected way. The sandstone buttresses deflect wind upwards, lifting the family to the main flock above. But they still have 1,500 kilometres left to travel. On the southern tip of Africa, a bird's-eye view of Cape Town's Table Mountain gives no hint of what's stirring in the seas far offshore. Where two great oceans meet, the greatest fish migration on the planet has begun. Hungry Cape gannets are on its trail, but it happens hidden deep beneath the waves. And with thousands of square kilometres of ocean to search, they need help in tracking it down. The common dolphin, a creature with an unrivaled knowledge of the undersea world. The two species work as a team, sharing their specialised skills. Dolphins search beneath the waves, while the gannets are the eyes in the sky. They travel together, sometimes for 100 kilometres or more. bird's eye view is first to spot the hidden gathering. They arrow towards it at over 100 kilometers per hour. Air cushions in their throat and chest soften the impact. "20 meters down, they reach their target. The Great Sardine Run, the biggest fish migration in the world. But at this depth, the sardines are a struggle to catch. The gannets come up with nothing. But guiding the dolphins here is about to pay off. They corral the sardines, driving them to the surface. Now they're not only easier for the dolphins to catch, they're in easy reach of the gannets. The sardines are now subjected to an air and sea assault with no parallel in the natural world. But it's not without dangers. Sharks have sensed the commotion, a deadly threat to the gannets. But the dolphins prove their worth once more. They drive the danger away. With bellies full, the hunters return to Bird Island, the biggest Cape Gannet colony in the world. 65,000 breeding pairs in all. Their success stems from a deep knowledge of the opportunities the seasons bring. As the year moves on, similar incredible events are happening all over the planet. It's a yearly cycle involving billions of travelling birds. The lush Amazon rainforest in the heart of South America could hardly present a greater contrast. But even here, the changing seasons drive the movements of birds. Macaws are clever and long-lived creatures. They understand the rainforest's secrets like few other birds. But they have a problem. In the dry season, fruit is less available, and the alternative food is often full of poisons. They need to find a cure for the indigestion they get from their less than perfect diet. The secret remedy can be found alongside the river. But others have got here first. Mealy parrots arrive in huge numbers, seeking the same popular remedy. Their presence is actually welcomed by the scarlet and green macaws. It means that there are no predators around. But if the coast is clear, the macaws expect to have the place to themselves, and mealies know their place in the pecking order. Even now, they still have time to argue among themselves. Like the other parrots, the macaws are here for one thing only: dirt. In fact, it's a special kind of mud, one that neutralizes the poisons in their rainforest diet. The clay not only settles their stomachs, it provides them with the nutrients missing from their food. Macaws are argumentative birds, and the best spots are keenly fought over. But they are surprisingly nervous too, especially when some unwelcome visitors arrive. Spider monkeys. They're hardly a predator, but their unruly presence is not worth the risk. It's now the monkey's turn to raid the jungle medicine chest. As always, flight is a bird's first defense. Back in Europe, the bulb fields of Holland are in bloom, showing that spring has well and truly arrived. It's also a sign that the crane's breeding grounds are not far away. This technicoloured landscape was reclaimed from salt marshes. In the past, cranes would have stopped here to breed. Nowadays, they keep on travelling to where natural marshes can still be found. Having flown 5,000 kilometres from North Africa, the family arrive at their final destination, in Sweden. Here, they will finally settle for the summer to breed. While the cranes seek the wild places, some spring arrivals prefer human habitation. Barn swallows travelled over 10,000 kilometres from South Africa to return to this English farm where they were born. They were well equipped for the journey. Their long pointed wings and forked tail give them unrivalled flight control. The males arrive first. Their job is to repair the nest before the females return. After a 6-week flight, he'll take any meal on offer. The The swallow's aerobatic skills put him in a league of his own. He can even drink without missing a beat. House martins have made the same arduous journey from South Africa too, but the first thing they do is gather mud from the local pond. They are closely related to the swallows and, like them, spend most of their time on the wing. They use their freshly gathered mud to renovate nests built on the eaves of buildings. Just a few finishing touches are all that's required. A lining of feathers will do nicely. In North America, the snow geese family finally reached the far north of Canada. They have flown non-stop for an incredible 3,000 kilometres. Here, they catch up with the last of the snow. They lost a third of their body weight on the journey, so it's a chance to stock up on water plants and fresh spring shoots. Migrating bald eagles find a welcome meal here too. The geese time their arrival to the very start of the Arctic summer. Waiting for the thaw is all part of their plan. They will stay here until the weather clears, before making their final hop to their nesting grounds on the northern tundra. As summer arrives in North America, South America hosts its own extraordinary spectacle. Giant petrels know just when it's about to occur and arrive as soon as the sea lion pups are ready to enter the water. These relatives of the albatross have made a huge journey across the southern oceans to be here. To find a meal, they need a partner in crime. Killer whales. The sea lion's greatest enemy, and an unwitting ally of the hungry petrels. Young sea lions are unaware of the danger they're in. A mother knows exactly what to expect. Her pup is surrounded as the scavengers hope for the worst. Missed. A happy reunion for the sea lions means a lost meal for the petrel. There will be plenty of other opportunities for the scavenging birds. While there are young pups to hunt, the whales attack several times a day. For the petrels, it was worth crossing an ocean to get here. It's early summer in North America. By now, birds have set up home in every corner of the United States. The Grand Canyon provides perfect conditions for those that soar. Apart from updrafts of air, this barren gorge appears to offer little for a water-loving bald eagle. But these huge canyons were carved out by water, and down below, the mighty Colorado still flows. Eagles master the air by using their feathers to sense and react to the slightest updraft. By understanding the way the landscape shapes the air, they use little energy looking for a meal. The Colorado has sustained life in these deserts for the last 17 million years. It still feeds a growing population of bald eagles today. Wherever there's an opportunity, birds will grasp it and reap the rewards. The marshlands of South Carolina. Chosen summer home of the great egret. These crafty birds could teach the eagle a thing or two about fishing. They let others do the work. The egrets shadow the dolphins, waiting for the action to begin. Then it happens. The dolphins drive the fish ashore. For the egret, it's a feast served up on a plate. As the fish flounder, the dolphins scoop them up. And so do the hungry egrets. Stranding is the dolphin's worst nightmare, but this pod are experts and are never left high and dry. Strangely, the dolphins always use their right side as they force the fish ashore. The young dolphins learn the knack from their parents, as do the egrets that follow them. With food so easy to come by, the egrets have become experts on the dolphins' behaviour and no longer fish for themselves. They are living proof of birds' extraordinary ability to adapt to any opportunities on offer. As summer reaches its height in the northern hemisphere, South Africa hosts an even more astonishing feeding event. The kelp gull knows just when it's about to occur. It heads for the aptly named Seal Island, just off Cape Point, home to 10,000 Cape fur seals. The gulls are opportunists, scavenging a meal wherever they can. At this time of year, they are guaranteed a feast. The gulls wait until the seal pups are brave enough to venture away from the island. They follow as the youngsters enjoy their newfound freedom. The young seals are oblivious to danger, but the gulls know otherwise. It's just a matter of time. A great white shark. Just what the gulls were expecting. A buffet of seal meat, there for the taking. In July, great whites migrate to feed on the novice seals, attacking up to 40 times a day. As the year moves on, it's East Africa's turn to host another great event. Vultures circle above the Great Plains, spiralling upwards in thermals of hot air. They are here for one thing only. The greatest mass movement of mammals on the planet. By August, 500,000 wildebeest cross the Serengeti Plains and arrive in Kenya's Masai Mara. The vultures watch the herds, looking for signs of weakness. They also study the wildebeest's predators. But in the high-stakes world of the African bush, the watched also do the watching. There is an uneasy alliance between vultures and lions, as both spy on one another to find fresh meat. But it's the lions that must do the killing. Just what the vulture was hoping for. But he'll have to wait his turn. There's not just a mother with hungry cubs. There's a whole pride as well. The carcass is disappearing before his very eyes. With the male stealing her meal, the lioness looks for someone to blame. The vultures aren't about to test her patience. They know there are far safer ways to find a carcass. The torrential waters of the Mara River are their next best opportunity. The wildebeest must cross the river to reach their breeding grounds on the short grass plains. It's the most dangerous time of their lives. They are justifiably nervous and hug the banks looking for the safest spot to cross. Once one goes, they all do. The crocs have waited a year for this moment. They're just what a scavenger needs right now. The vulture should soon be in luck. The time has come. Rapids add to the mounting toll. The vultures simply fly downstream, where the bodies are duly delivered. There's no rest for the wicked. Now the arguing begins. But despite the infighting, there's plenty of carcasses to go round. Outnumbered, a marabou stork bides his time. Eventually, everyone gets their fill. In a few days, they will follow the herd south and be gone. Also in East Africa lies the Great Rift Valley, home to one of the most beautiful birds in the world. The lesser flamingo is a restless traveller, constantly searching for the perfect lake. Today, well over half the world's population have chosen Lake Bogoria in northern Kenya. This is one of the greatest gatherings ever seen. A total of 2 million birds. They fringe the lake with a ribbon of pink. But this beauty is deceptive. Here, volcanic springs poison the tranquil waters. They create a caustic brew, killing most forms of water life. However, the same alkaline conditions allow a special algae to flourish. And it's the flamingo's only food. Their curved bills and long necks are specially adapted to extract it from the lake. The bill acts as a sieve, filtering the algae from the water. The flamingos appear as if by magic whenever the algae bloom. For a brief time, among these steaming vents, they find their Shangri-La. But there is trouble in paradise. The African fish eagle. No fish survive in this toxic lake, so it hunts flamingos instead. It flushes its prey. In the air, weaker birds are easier to spot. Stragglers make the best targets. A victim is found. For the survivors, peace soon returns. As the summer ends in North America, many bald eagles make one last stop off before heading south again. Young birds follow the adults. They haven't been here before and they don't know what to expect. Their destination is a river in British Columbia, where another great gathering has begun. Salmon have arrived from the ocean to breed, and with them, have come the bears. It's wise to be cautious. Grizzly bears don't like sharing their meals. A young eagle also holds back, ready to watch and learn. There's plenty going on. All the local grizzlies join in these yearly festivities. But the salmon are a challenge, even for bears. They are chum salmon, up to 1 metre long, and among the most aggressive of their kind. Their hooked jaws and teeth are designed for fighting rivals. With fish of this size and ferocity, it's best to let the bears do the hard work. For a young bear, they're surprisingly tricky to catch. The eagle must sneak closer to the action for any chance of a meal. Stealing from the bears would be asking for trouble. But with so much food around, the bears can afford to be choosy, taking a bite and moving on. At the peak of the salmon run, catching fish is soon just a game. It's time for the eagle to make his move. But he still must be cautious. Grizzlies are notoriously bad-tempered. He must eat as quickly as he can before the bears notice. It doesn't take them long. The eagle knows just how far he can push his luck. He'll eat his fill here, playing dare with the bears before heading south as autumn takes hold. In Costa Rica, black vultures are also on their way south. Having spent the summer in North America, they assemble here in huge numbers before travelling on to South America. This is one place they know they're guaranteed a meal. An olive ridley turtle returning after months at sea. She's just what the vultures have been waiting for. The hungry birds can hardly contain their excitement. They just have to work out how to get their meal. But it's not the turtle they're after. It's her nutritious eggs. She lays them deep in the sand and protects them with powerful back legs. Kicking sand in the face of the bullies is her only defense. Against the odds, she successfully buries every single egg. No luck for the vultures this time. But she was just the front runner. The real invasion now begins. This is the famous Arribada, the mass gathering of turtles. Wave after wave of turtles arrive a few days after the full moon. Surrounded by vultures, each female races to bury her eggs as deep as she can. She also has to cope with the sheer numbers of other turtles. And more keep on coming. With so many turtles crammed together, there's not enough space to go round. The eggs of the first arrivals are the ones to suffer. They are dug up and kicked from the sand like ping pong balls. A gift for the waiting vultures. The birds must eat their fill before continuing to South America. A serving of scrambled eggs is just what they need for the long journey ahead. Soon, even the vultures can eat no more, and the long-suffering turtles finally have the beach to themselves. In a few days, both turtles and birds will be gone. Autumn in Europe has triggered another mass movement of birds. Brent geese leave their breeding sites in the Arctic and head for warmer climes further south. Like snow geese and cranes, the younger birds fly with their parents, picking up new skills all the time. They learn to avoid gathering storms, a tip they will pass on to their own offspring. Having flown over 3,000 kilometers from Arctic Russia, this family's travels are nearly over. The coastal marshes around Mont Saint-Michel in northern France are where they will make their home. They will stay throughout the winter, only returning to the Arctic in the spring. Some overwintering birds have more metropolitan tastes. As winter beckons, 10 million starlings from northern Europe converge on a few favoured spots in the centre of Rome. Here they find warmth and relatively few predators. Their evening manoeuvres create nature's greatest aerial display. A favourite roost is an ancient cemetery in the heart of the city. 2 million converge on this one prime location alone. But such an astonishing gathering can hardly be ignored. The peregrine falcon, looking for his evening meal. It won't be easy. He's hunting the world's best aerial flying team. Their rapid movements and mesmeric waves confuse the peregrine, stopping him locking on to a single target. To achieve such defensive synchrony, each starling flies in formation with 7 of his nearest neighbours. They move as one, reacting 10 times faster than any human fighter pilot. Despite the peregrine's best efforts, he has been outmaneuvered and outperformed. The tables turn. A squadron of several thousand birds chase the peregrine away. The starlings can finally come home to roost. Further north in Italy, common cranes are also on their return journey. Many pass over the famous canals of Venice, this time with a family of their own. Venice was once an area of marshland where migrating cranes could rest and feed. Now they have to keep on flying. Soon, they will take their new family across the Mediterranean to spend the winter in the welcoming warmth of North Africa. In America too, the snow geese are on their return journey. Those taking the eastern route pass through another of the world's great cities. Despite New York's immense human population, the city is a busy crossroads for travelling birds. Over 250 different species migrate through each year. Like the rock formations of Monument Valley, the buildings create uplifts of air, helping speed their journey. Birds are ever adaptable. By passing on new knowledge to their families, they have learnt to survive in a world transformed by human hand. Despite all the changes, snow geese are now 3 times more numerous than they were 40 years ago. The geese leave New York behind. The welcoming warmth of the deep south beckons. As the year draws to an end, all the birds stop travelling. Japanese cranes celebrate the change as they arrive in Hokkaido, Japan. Their population was once reduced to just 25 birds. Now, they number well over 1,000. Gifts of fish left out by local people have helped them thrive once more. But it's not all Zen serenity. In winter, white-tailed eagles gather here too. They are notorious bird hunters. Faced with the danger, the cranes fearlessly fight back. They offer quite a challenge. They are the largest cranes in the world. For the eagles, there's a far easier meal. The food given to the cranes. The eagles leave, and calm returns once more. To the Japanese, the crane's courtship dance is a symbol of peace, harmony, and long life. The birds can live for over 60 years, making their faithful partnerships among the most enduring of any bird. The relationships that birds have with each other and with other animals allows them to thrive in every corner of the globe. Their flights to find food, make homes and rear young, embrace countries and continents. As they teach their offspring the skills of survival, they connect life on Earth in ways we are only just beginning to understand. For a brief moment, these cranes may have stopped travelling. But across the planet and throughout the seasons, the journeys of birds unite the world.